Hi, this is Neil from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, where we help people just like you start selling things on Amazon, whether that's right here in Australia or indeed right around the world. We've got over 2,000 great members all selling things on Amazon. You can find out more by going to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. Have you ever thought about working with your partner in your Amazon business? In this video, I'm going to give you some great tips to how to do that without the requirement of getting a divorce after. All right, next. Okay, so this is an interesting question for you. I'm going to ask your advice on something, okay? So, let's get personal. Have you ever worked with your partner in your business? Have you ever tried that? What's been your experience? And more importantly, what advice would you give to somebody who was either considering it or going through the process of working with their partner in their business? One of the things that I tell you about my own experience of that with Natasha, I've built 3 businesses with Tash now. She does not work with me in this business. However, we have worked together a lot in the past. 12 years ago, give or take, we almost got a divorce because it was extremely stressful working in a specific business I'm thinking about. The business wasn't working. We couldn't get it working. It was losing money left, right, and center. Massively stressful. We almost got divorced because we couldn't figure it out, and we ended up arguing between each other. So I've had a lot of experience working with Natasha, also with other business partners, but I don't think that's really the same. I'm very, very interested to hear what your thoughts are, what your own experience is, and what advice, more importantly, you would give to somebody who's considering either working with their partner or who does work with their partner. All right, so that's the preamble for this little segment. I know that we have got quite a few people in the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs community what work with their partner, which I think is brilliant. I think that's a really, really cool thing. There's nothing like working with your partner to accelerate either the success or the demise of your relationship. Just like, this is a weird analogy, but an interesting one, just like marketing will very, very quickly either make a product fail because the product isn't strong, and marketing simply speeds up that process of going through the iteration to failure, or it will make it massively successful. Working with your partner will do exactly the same thing. It is intense to do that, and so I'm super interested to hear your own experiences. So now that I've kind of talked enough so that you can give me some insights into that, all right, so here's some stuff. Dave King: be clear on what your roles are so you do not cross over each other and run into conflict. That's a really, really important one. You often find in a relationship that even at the very, very gross level, you'll have one person within the relationship that is more extroverted and one that is more introverted. The person that is more extroverted will typically love dealing with suppliers and love dealing with the team and talking on the phone or going and doing trade fairs and that sort of thing. And the more introverted one tends to be the one who loves dealing with the email side of things, the customer support via the website. Tends to be that. So if you are aware of that within your own dynamic, that will help you to allocate roles within the business. And I think that's a really, really important thing to do. Good one, Davo. Work out what part they can do or build, says James. Agreed. First, work out what your interest in what you're doing. So interest is a big one. It is, I believe, very, very rare that you will both be equally interested in the business, okay? I believe that's very, very rare to find that. Typically, you'll have one partner who is either slightly more interested or much more interested in the business than the other partner. And more specifically, they will be slightly more interested or much more interested in the niche that that business is focused in and operating in, okay? And so one of the big things in relationship is what causes conflict is unexpressed expectations. That's a big relationship killer. I expected you to do this thing that you didn't do, even though I never told you that I thought you should do that thing in the relationship. So you'll find that within a business that's got a niche, one person will be very, very interested in the niche, the other, they're kind of meh about it. And so that can cause some conflict. Very important to communicate about that and to work out what elements of that you each like. Well done, Hayden. Clear defined role, says Scotty. If Victoria, be respectful of others' time and expertise. So that comes down to the amount of time, and this is all about kind of entering the business with your eyes open. One of you within that partnership will put more time in than the other, and you must be okay with that difference between how much time and therefore perception of effort goes into the business. That comes down to communication again. Thanks to that, Victoria. That sounds like what happened. Well, it can work out, but communication has to be spot on. Communication's huge. So communication is huge, and Cass has also mentioned here about emotion clouding people's judgment. That's absolutely what happened within the relationship that Natasha and I had. Because the business wasn't working, it's very easy to get on really famously when something is working really, really well. It's much more difficult to do that when the shit is hitting the fan, you can't pay bills, mortgage needs to be paid. That was our situation. It's much more difficult, and then you're kind of like, I think we should do this, no, I think we should do this, and it creates a lot of conflict, okay? Leanne works with her husband and love it. Set up meetings specifically around one thing. Very, very good there, Yvette. I will tell you in my own dynamic with Natasha, one thing that we instigated after our close miss with the divorce was date night. So Friday night was, no matter what was going on, Tasha and I went out and had a date together where we just kind of with each other, and we talked about things outside of the business, okay? We still do that now. We don't work together anymore, but we still do that now. That's been a hugely influential thing as far as the relationship dynamic between Tasha and I. So date night was really good. Mate night, we also have mate night. So we do date night, mate night, Sunday night. We go out with our mates, whether that's with each other's mates, like I go out with my mates, she goes out with her mates, or we go out as a couple with friends as well. So it can work both ways as well. Bricks and mortar work perfectly. Online is difficult because you're working from home. So that's an important one. You're going to be working from home. My wife's not interested in the business. She likes a 9-to-5 job. Good. I think it depends on relationship. Clear roles in the business. So lots of people talking about relationship roles. This all comes down to your kind of business prenup, don't you think? It's your business prenup. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do within the business? What are your roles going to be within the business? Okay. Still, I find data up to give me a larger share. Could have gone with cash. Okay. Kerry is an organizer. He was chaotic, very, very difficult. Partner in business, my health, so I'll put systems in place. Systems is a big one, to have the right systems in place, and to treat it as a business. So it's very, very easy when you work from home and also with your partner, not to treat the business as a business, but almost to treat it as an extension of your day-to-day life. I believe that's a mistake. Much, much better to kind of have some separation and to have meetings about the business and to treat the business as a professional thing rather than something that you just do within your day-to-day life as well. I think that really helps long term. Do you both have background experience of business? Before you start, it's great to point of laying blame. So laying blame, very, very important. That comes down to how you will deal with things that go when things go wrong, because things will absolutely go wrong. Any idiot that tells you everything's going to be plain sailing in business is just flat out full of it. Things go wrong all the time, every single day. And what processes and systems you have in place for when they go wrong will dictate whether or not that causes some major friction in your relationship, or it's seen as a natural progression of the way the business is going. Okay, super important. Some really good stuff in here, guys. Don't personal matters together. So Maria says, don't deal with business matters and personal matters together. Very, very important. Keep them separate. I will tell you that is hard to do. Like, from my own experience, and specifically I'm thinking about this time when Natasha and we went for a real rough patch. Business was not going well. We couldn't pay our mortgage. It was horrible, really bad time for both of us. Okay, and so that was a difficult thing thus to separate out, because we were both involved in the business, and the business was had consequences for our personal lives as well, where we were living. So very interesting to do that. Never fight business in front of the kids. Try to understand your point of view. I'm actually a believer in bringing if you are having a fight. This is me. You may be different. I hope you are. We don't fight in front of our kids. However, we tell our kids when we have had a fight, and we tell our kids what we fought about, and we tell our kids how we resolved it, because kids are smart. They pick up on all sorts of shit. If you've had a fight, make no mistake, your kids know you've had a fight. So better to be open with them, tell them what's going on, rather than leaving things open to their interpretation. As adults, we set the scene for that. I think that's it. For me, the big one is communication. That's true not just in a relationship with your partner, but in all aspects. Relationship is huge. Hope that was good. I know I kind of wanted to bring it up because I know that I've seen recently quite a lot of people, I don't know if that's COVID related or whatever, who have joined the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, and have then asked if they can bring their partner, their spouse, their lover, whatever it may be, into the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs as well, which I wholeheartedly encourage, by the way. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about that, to get your opinions on it as well, get your advice, what you've gone through as well. And so a massive thanks to everybody that contributed to that. That's really good stuff. That video was from my regular every week Monday night open Q&A session, where the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs get to ask me anything at all about selling their products on Amazon, whether that's right here in Australia or indeed right around the world. If you'd like to find out more about becoming an Aussie Online Entrepreneur, you can go to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, where you'll be joining over 2,000 other larrikins and crazy people as we all build our own cash flow creating businesses on Amazon. Link is in the description. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.